Eala admits she's been surprised by what the crowd at Indian Wells have done this year. Eala has swiftly accumulated one of the biggest fan bases in tennis, followed religiously wherever she goes. The California desert has been no different, with her Filipino supporters once again packing out Indian Wells. Whether it be her matches or even just her practice sessions, they are once again turning up in ridiculous numbers, outshining even the likes of Carlos Alcaraz and Coco Gauff. And, such has been the scale of this support, even Eala has been shocked by the crowd at this particular event. Eala reveals her goal in tennis. Speaking to Front Office Sports after her opening round win at Indian Wells, she began by outlining her big goal for tennis and why she believes she can one day achieve it. Eala claimed, "My goal as a junior was to be ranked high, so I was able to envision myself being, somewhat, at the top." Then, touching on the crowd in California, she added, "I did not expect this sort of fan base or crowd rallying behind me. But it's an incredible privilege to have, I tell you. And it's not something your everyday person can experience, so I'm always so grateful." She concluded by outlining the best thing that she can control to help her reach this ultimate goal. "Being brave is the best thing I can do for myself." Eala was told why she was great for tennis earlier this week. This unwavering support proves exactly why. Eala's 2026 season so far. Whilst 2025 was Eala's true breakout season, it feels like 2026 could be the campaign where she truly establishes herself amongst the sport's elite. After all, having already proven her penchant for challenging the world's very best players, the experience gained over the last year will prove invaluable as she tries to convert her undeniable talent into tangible success. She has already made a semi-final this year, at the ASB Classic, and despite a few disappointing performances at the Australian Open and in Qatar, managed to reach the quarterfinals in the WTA 1000 event held in Dubai. Now, having battled through against Diana Yastremska, Eala will have grand ambitions of hopefully maintaining her fine form and engineering another run deep into a competition of this magnitude. Title: The Unexpected Roar, Eala and the Crowd of Indian Wells. The desert air at Indian Wells Tennis Garden always carries a certain magic during the annual BNP Paribas Open. The sun shines brighter, the courts glow under the California sky, and tennis fans from around the world gather to witness some of the sport's most exciting moments. But in 2026, something different filled the stadium, a surprising wave of energy that even rising tennis star Eala did not expect. For Eala, the tournament was supposed to be another step in her journey. At just a young age, she had already built a reputation as one of the brightest talents from the Philippines. She arrived in the desert focused on improving her game, learning from every match, and enjoying the opportunity to compete alongside the sport's elite. What she did not expect was the crowd. A rising star in the desert. The story of Eala is already remarkable. Born in the Philippines, she grew up far from the traditional centers of professional tennis. Yet her determination and talent pushed her beyond those limits. Her journey took her to the prestigious Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain, where she trained under the influence of tennis legend Rafael Nadal. There, Eala sharpened her powerful baseline game and developed a fierce competitive spirit. Coaches noticed her discipline, her focus, and her willingness to work harder than many players twice her age. She quickly rose through junior tennis, capturing titles and gaining international attention. Still, professional tennis is a different world. Every match is a test, every tournament a challenge. Indian Wells would prove to be something more. The first surprise. On the day of her opening match at the BNP Paribas Open, Eala walked through the tunnels of the Indian Wells Tennis Garden with her usual calm focus. Players often describe the walk from locker room to court as a moment of mental preparation, the last quiet seconds before competition begins. But as she approached the court entrance, she heard something unexpected. Cheers. At first, she thought it might be for someone else. Indian Wells is famous for its passionate fans, but the biggest applause usually belongs to established champions. Yet when she stepped onto the court, the sound grew louder. Many fans were waving Philippine flags. Others shouted her name with excitement that echoed around the stadium. Eala later admitted that moment surprised her more than anything in the tournament. She had expected a crowd. She had not expected that crowd. A global crowd. Indian Wells is sometimes called the fifth Grand Slam because of its massive international audience. Fans from dozens of countries travel to California to watch the world's best players. In 2026, many of those fans had discovered Eala. Some were Filipino supporters who had followed her career for years. Others were tennis fans who admired young players with fearless styles. Many simply enjoyed watching a rising star challenge experienced opponents with confidence and creativity. Every time Eala won a point, the applause grew. Every time she fought back from a difficult rally, the crowd responded even louder. The energy was contagious. The power of support. Professional athletes often talk about the importance of mental strength. Matches can swing quickly, and confidence sometimes determines the outcome as much as skill. During one intense rally in her second-round match, Eala chased down a seemingly impossible ball near the baseline. She slid across the hard court, returned the shot with a high looping forehand, and forced her opponent into an error. The stadium erupted. Eala smiled. In that moment, she realized the crowd wasn't just watching her. They were with her. Later in interviews, she admitted that the atmosphere had surprised her throughout the week. She had played in front of enthusiastic fans before, but the reaction at Indian Wells felt different, louder, warmer, and more personal. A symbol for young players. Part of the excitement surrounding Eala comes from what she represents. Tennis has long been dominated by players from Europe, North America, and a few other regions. But in recent years, the sport has expanded rapidly across Asia and beyond. Eala's success has inspired many young athletes in the Philippines and throughout Southeast Asia. At Indian Wells, several young fans held handmade signs that read, "Go Alex! Proud of you!" Some had traveled across the United States to watch her play. Others were local fans who had simply discovered her matches during the tournament. But their message was the same. They believed in her. Learning from the moment. Despite the excitement, Eala remained focused on her development as a player. Every match at the BNP Paribas Open offers lessons about tactics, endurance, and the mental side of tennis. She studied her opponents carefully. She adjusted her serve placement, improved her court movement, and experimented with different strategies during long rallies. The crowd's energy helped fuel those adjustments. Instead of feeling pressure from the noise, she embraced it. In fact, she later joked that the cheers sometimes surprised her midpoint. She would win a rally and suddenly realize the stadium had exploded with applause.